In this lesson, we are going to modify the stairs with direction arrows and line style to follow convention. We're also going to have a look at a few other small details that we can add some extra editing information to. Now, at the end of the last lesson, what we had done is we had copied the labels and dimensions to all the other different areas. I had also gone and added or edited the heights, the finished floor level heights to the different areas so that we know what those key areas are. Now, in terms of the stairs themselves, we have calculated the spacing and we had calculated the size in about 2 lessons ago. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change the line type, or at least the color, to a slightly different color. What we're going to do is we're going to make the stairs in red, and then we are going to also explode the treads, since we're going to have to do a little bit of work on them. So now by exploding them, I have single individual objects. What you can do as well is before exploding, you can copy that original stair object either to the side or somewhere into a different file. You can also leave a relation to the base point. So what I would have done before exploding it is to have copied the entire staircase like so. And to leave it on the side, you can perhaps date it or do something along those lines. So if you want to come back and edit that arrayed object, you can easily do so and then copy it back into your plan using your base point, which is never going to change. So anyhow, we want to go and edit the stair. Now, after doing a bit of design thinking, I realized that it would be a much better idea to have the stair starting on this side. Reason being is that this is quite a private part of the house, and you want to almost enclose it a little bit more, and having the stair coming up in this direction, it opens the views up a lot more into this part of the house. So when you walk in, you're not going to have this stair in your way, since you want to open the flow of traffic as much as possible in this direction. And as well, you will actually be able to see underneath the stair and have a look at the pool deck, the planter, the terrace, and all of this information happening here. So that's going to be a much better option for us. So let's go ahead and match properties to that red line, and I accidentally got the text there, but that's fine, we'll fix that just now. And I'm going to just select the rest of the text. Now I'm going to go and just edit this again, stretch it out slightly. I had actually gone and accidentally added the properties from the stairs to the text. So on the stairs, what I'd like to do now is I'd like to add a direction arrow. So what you can do is you can add a center line to your stairs. So just find out what your total distance is. So 1.3. So you can do half of that. So let's say 650 is going to be more or less half. And now we have that center line. So what you want to do now is you want to add an arrow as to where the top of the stair is going to be. And you can also add a little circle just to indicate that that is the base of the stair. So that is more or less a convention. Every country may be different. You can either use the Neufit as well to have a look at what the conventions are for drawing that. So I'd like to now change the line thicknesses from these colors to a standard 8. And the next thing that you want to do is you want to draw a line where more or less the stair is going to be above 1 meter. Now you can calculate that exactly, but it doesn't really matter. What you want to do is you want to draw a diagonal line like so, and then you want to just give it a little bit of a zigzag. So some people will have slightly different conventions. Most people will just do something that indicates that the stairs are being interrupted as they are going above that imaginary line of 1 meter that we are cutting through as we are creating this plan. Next thing you want to do is you want to actually recolor the areas that are above this and add a dot dash line type to it. So what we do to break this line is we're going to use the break tool, or the break command. So type BR, enter, and then just basically click on the object where you want it to be broken. So I'm doing so in these 2 areas, and I'm going to do that here as well. And I'm just going to manually pull that back in. So now what I have is I have a separate line above this break line, and I actually need to go and do this here too. Here we can do it as well if you really want to be quite precise about it. And I'm just going to go and extend this back in. So using the EX command to extend those lines back to that reference line. So now we can go and select these lines. We still need one more break. This one snuck away. and I'm going to convert that to a very light, so color 9. And I also want to have a dot dash, so I need to go into other and I need to load a dot dash line. So you can have a look, either you can use that one or you can use this one. You can see what looks better once you print it. And that dot dash is this one. And I also need to click on Control 1 and then just increase that line type scale. I'm going to use 10 as my factor and then match properties, and then you can just go and paint those properties over the other stairs so that you get that dot dash effect happening. The dot dash signifies that the objects are above your cutting plane, which is the cutting plane of the plan, and the dashed line indicates that it is underneath what you are looking at. So now what I need to do is I need to actually trim this line, since that line doesn't exist. On the upper level you will have a cutout in your plan. So we will go and trim that. So we're going to select those two outlines, so TR enter for that. Right click and then select that line that will be trimmed. Now this line as well, in actual fact we didn't have to trim it because this line will be happening on two different levels. We may not even repeat this line exactly in that same place. What that means is that on the lower level we have this water pond. So let me just go and delete what I did. I'm going to extend this back to that line, and that water pond will be starting, or at least ending, at this point. I'm going to make this line gray since I want the stairs to take predominance, or dominance rather, and I want this line to look as though it's underneath these stairs. So the stairs are going to be darker. This gray line will look like it's thinner, therefore further away than these stairs. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just indicate that this line is continuing underneath the stairs. So that needs to be a dashed line. So BR enter. And I'm going to just break this short line underneath, re-extend it. And now I need to change that line type. So I need to find a dashed line so I can use that hidden line type, which should work fine. I can then increase the line type scale from 5, try 10, try 50, and 100 seems to be the better option. Right, so right now we have a stair that is almost complete. The last thing that we want to do, just to add a better sense of detail that really helps, is to number your treads. So I'm going to copy the small thin text that we have here, and I'm just going to start with 1 and then move up to 24. So just give a little bit of a text indication to each of those treads. So this I'm going to do off camera. You don't need to see me copying and editing all of that text, but basically I think you get an idea. This line as well we need to have in gray. We don't need that to be so dark. We can have that as color 8. You can also make it slightly darker if you do want to really reveal that line, but the main thing is that you can see that it is happening above. You can see where it starts, that's the most important, and you can also see where it ends above. So that is it for this lesson. We just looked at editing this. What I still wanted to do in this lesson, but it's quite tight in terms of time, is I'm going to be editing some of these doors, especially around here. What I want to do is I wanted to create, or at least I can do it now in a minute, I'm going to be creating a door panel and a opening door here. What I'm going to do in this case is I would like to have a hidden door that is sliding into a cavity along here. So this is a little bit of an effect that I can have more space within my room, and I don't have to have a wide swinging door. That will allow me to have more shelf space and all the rest, since these are going to be laundries and pantries. So you really want to maximize on that. So what I'm going to do to create that, I'm in the doors layer, I'm going to create a large retractable door. The dimension is going to be 1.2 meters and by 50 millimeters. I'm going to move that door into place, and then I'm going to create a polyline. I'm also going to see how far that door is actually going to go, and then I'm going to draw a polyline by typing PL enter, and I'm just going to trace that door, and I'm going to have a 30 millimeter very thin shell, that basically just a piece of wooden cladding that it's going to slide underneath, and I'm going to offset that slightly by 10 millimeters. And now what I basically get is a cavity that I can, just going to re-offset that, move this using this handle. And basically that has now given me a little bit of a cavity that I can work with. I'm still going to have this concrete wall, but basically this door is now going to be a sliding door, so we can half open it so that we can get an idea of what's happening, and we can go and copy one of these little sliding icons that will indicate the direction that the door is sliding. You can also draw a handle if you want to add that extra little bit of detail, but it's not really that necessary, as long as you have an idea of what's happening. You may also need a slightly more space for this cavity, but that can be tweaked at any later stage as well, depending on what catalogs may require in terms of dimensions over there. But right now, just the idea of having a sliding door is what I wanted to show. And the last thing, in just a very short couple of seconds, is I want to basically move this door to this wall so that when guests come in and use the public areas, that they can just walk in and directly access this guest bedroom. What is going to happen there is that I'm going to be creating another wall here that is going to be closed off, and there will be a separate door going into the bedroom and then a separate door going into the bathroom, which means it's not going to be an ensuite anymore. So all I have to do now, since I have that wipeout effect happening, is basically I need to rotate my door like so, move it into the correct place, and right now that is all I have to do to get that door updated. So there you have it. We can add another door here now that is going into the bedroom, and just in a couple of seconds we had now gone and added all these extra doors and extra details. So there you have it.